right, I'm going to go ahead and call to order this regular meeting one of the Swatara Township Board of Commissioners. It is March 5th and it is 7:08 p.m. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please stand for a moment of silence. You may be seated. All right. Secretary Savage is not here this evening, so I'm going to ask Treasurer Yarzinski if she could do the roll call.
Yes. Commissioner Tuckey,
Here.
Commissioner Zubek,
Here.
Commissioner Connolly,
Here.
Vice President Steele,
Here.
President Ellis.
Here. I'll say we have a quorum.
We have a quorum.
We're good. So our board didn't have an executive session, but we did have an information session on February 19th with members of the Central Dauphin School Board. So I'll announce that. And then we'll go ahead and go on to item 6 now. Visitors' requests and comments. This first period is going to be limited to a 30-minute maximum.
We had the executive session tonight.
Oh.
Personnel matter.
We did have an executive session this evening prior to the meeting to discuss personnel matters. Thank you guys, everybody. So again, all right, we're gonna go ahead and go on to visitors' requests and comments. Please come forward, state your name and address as well as write it down, and then you may begin. Please try to keep your comments to 3 minutes.
Thank you.
All right. I don't see anyone jumping up. So we're going to go ahead and move on to item 7, a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Do we have any discussion?
We're getting there.
Yeah, oh, you're good.
Just like fall back, spring ahead.
Everybody's mic going dead, huh?
Mine works.
Hers is green. Your shades is green.
Yeah. All right, we have the motion and a second for approving the agenda. Do we have any discussion? All right, hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, the agenda is approved. We're up to item 8, a motion to approve the items on the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Do we have any discussion? I'll just highlight the request from Beulah Baptist Church for their Community Day. This is something that has been requested a few years in a row now. And their event is on August 2nd from 10 to 3. All right, hearing no discussion, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, consent agenda is approved. We have consideration of the minutes. We have the regular meeting 1 of February 5th, 2025, and regular meeting 2 of February 12th, 2025.
So moved to approve items 9A and B together.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Does anyone have any discussion with regard to the minutes? All right, hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. We're on track for this to be a record. We're up to item 10, approval of the MOU with Swatara Township Police Association regarding Social Security tax refund.
Motion.
Second.
All right. Commissioner Connolly or Vice President Steele, would either of you like to give just a brief overview for the public?
Yeah, this is just a refund to 3 officers Social Security Social Security tax was not to be taken out of their check. It was a correction error. For us, the proper way to do it, so once we go to audit on our funds, was to have an MOU. The IRS was involved and agreed that the Social Security payments should have been returned back to the officers because they were not entitled to pay Social Security. So it was a payroll mistake, and the MOU basically satisfies that requirement, giving those 3 officers their money back from the Social Security tax that was withheld.
All right, do we have any further discussion? All right, hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Nope. All right, we're up to item 11, approval of vacation and paid time off PTO policy.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
A motion and a second. Do we have any discussion?
Yeah, some of the key differences, the old policy that you got in your packet, I'll just call that, I wrote myself some notes because I knew there would be some questions asked about the policy. I'll call that policy number 1. And then the new policy, I'll call that policy number 2, just for simplicity, why I explain some of the difference. So policy number 1 basically uses a unified PTO system, which it combined the vacation, the sick, the personal days, while policy 2, which is the new policy, actually separates the 2, vacation and PTO. Policy 1, again, which is the old policy, had a larger carryover up to 20 PTO days, while policy number 2 limits vacation carryover to just 5 days in a calendar year, even year over year. The payout for policy 2 essentially offers a structured vacation payout based upon the years of service, while policy number 2 generally does not pay out unused PTO unless the employee has more than 1 year of service. As far as the vacation payout for approval process for policy 1, it outlined it, which is the old policy, again, to make sure there's no confusion. It outlined where it required 2 weeks notice for any PTO request, while policy 2 specifies essentially 15 days requests. And then the carryover, if you don't use all your vacation under the new policy, family issues, short staffing, anything that may happen, you are allowed to carry those days over into the next year, excuse me, where ultimately, the liability that the township holds on carryover vacation will somewhat become obsolete, because now you can only carry over 5 days at maximum, rather than a lot of days that we had in the past. And just to give you an example, the fourth quarter, and Brittany, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but we paid $250,000 in carryover days because of our policies, the way they're structured. So we're trying to get rid of some of that, because that is a future liability. When you look at the ability to carry over your vacation or PTO time, it's based upon future pay increases. So let's just, for simplicity, you might be making $25 an hour this year, but you're not due to retire till another 30 years. Well, you do the compounding interest, and as well as what you would be paid every time you get a raise. If it's a 3% raise or 4% raise over the next 20 years, that would be the payout figure of your carryover. So it's just bringing our policy in line and getting rid of a lot of carryover time that's allowed to be carried.
All right, do we have any further discussion?
Yeah, I'd just like to add that this generally gets looked at in cycles, and we already talked about it, that we just negotiated both the highway department contract and the police contract. So similar things were looked at in those negotiations, and it's just a way to tighten things up, with different cycles. And I appreciate the fact that Commissioner Steele, Vice President Steele, took the lead. He is the chair of the Personnel Committee, and so a lot of documents comparing to other places compared to what we did in the past. And I do want to say, when you said old policy, I'm going to call it the current policy until we vote.
I think I actually put on there current
It
policy.
does say it on the side, but I know when you
put
call it
top
old,
current,
I'm
yeah.
like, that's,
I
you might
said
be.
policy 1, so not old policy.
That's all I have.
Do we have anything further? Yes.
Yes, I was going through it this afternoon, actually, as soon as I could go through it. The employment termination part, it says if they work less than a year, they don't get any payout for what's left for their vacation time if it wasn't used. I understand that part, but it says 1 year employment, 20% of their accrued vacation time. 2 years, 40%, 3 years, 60%, 4 years, 80%, and then 5 years, they get 100%. In my opinion, something that the employee has earned, I don't understand why it's such a low percentage.
It's actually staggered throughout their employment, but at the end of the day, you have to understand too, you can't carry over more than 5 days. So everybody's capped at 5 days. So if you don't use it, you lose it at the end of the year. We're no longer carrying these big balances over, and it's staggered based upon your years of service. Because if you come in, and I don't have mine in my packet for some reason, but let me give you an example. So if let me see that on the page. If you come in year one, it's not built up over your payroll period where you would build your time up. So a 0 to 5 year employees coming into the township with immediately getting 10 days per year vacation and then 10 PTO days. And if they serve 6 months and decide to leave us, now we're on the hook to give them the 10 days PTO and the 10 days vacation. That's not fair to the taxpayers or the township. I think our structure program, the way we looked at it is in time, you would be entitled to that accruement of time. Again, that was a way for us to minimize the amount of liability that we have in the future.
I understand if you're not here for more than a year, I can understand that if it wasn't vacation time used. My concern is if I'm an employee of the township, I don't feel right as a board member with the way this is broken down to only get 20% of what you actually earned for time.
This is actually a plus compared to our actual your retirement, because you're not a vested employee here for I think it's 12 years. So this is actually a plus. It's staggered the same way we would do for our retirement. If you came in the door day one, you stay with us 5 years. We give a matching portion. You wouldn't be entitled to the portion to walk away from the township until 12 years. So it's almost staggered the same.
So with the current policy that we have right now, what would they get paid if they would be terminated or if they voluntarily leave?
You know, off the top of your head.
I do. Currently, they would get paid what they've earned, or if they use it before they earn it, they would actually owe.
Right.
But they get paid what they've worked for,
What they earned at the time.
Personally, as a board member, I would like to see it kept that way.
Okay. I think I hear your thought process and I respect your opinion. I respectfully disagree because, again, like I told you, just in 1 quarter alone, we paid out $250,000 in payouts. I don't think the taxpayers deserve to have to pay for PTO time or vacation time to be carried for years. If you have a work-life balance, which that's what also this policy does, it somewhat forces you to take your time off because you need a work-life balance. And I don't think the taxpayers should be on the hook for essentially creating a savings account from when I come in here until I leave, that they have to pay me a big payout when it's time to leave. So this I believe myself, with the working group that we had put together from all authorities. Obviously, Brittany was involved. That's how she knew that off the top of her head. HR, as well as the HR consultant that we have. I think it's a solid policy. I think it protects liability down the road financially. And I think it puts us in a better place. And it's actually more structured because you earn your time right away. It gets rid of the spreadsheets and things also when it relates to payroll, having to keep track of all this.
And I just want to add, when we had the discussion, the benefit is the employee is an asset to us. Okay, we care about the whole employee. We don't want people that don't take vacation, don't take sick time because they want to accumulate a big balance down the road by saying, I'm owed that. It is a vacation benefit in that year. They have sick time in that year. it's for them to recharge, do things. Somebody works 25 years here and just say they started at $10 an hour, but they leave at $40 an hour. Now they've accumulated, they've used the taxpayer and their lack of really time management to create a massive payout. So we're here now and we have employees retiring after 30 years and they have this staggering number that we have to pay them now because no one managed it for those 30 years. And it is unfortunate. Some people use the job, especially public sector jobs, as a way to accumulate this. I'm not taking vacation, I'm going to rack up these hours. And at the same time, it wasn't set up that way for them to have this big balance. So you're saying they earned it, but it was actually a benefit that was there for them and for us as a protection for their health and their safety and things like that. So it's gradually been, all my years here and prior to that, when I came in, it's been cut down every year because I might be wrong on the year, but I want to say I believe it was 2013. Maybe 4 high-level people left the township, and the township was expecting to see some savings, and then they had to pay those people this massive amount of money all at once. So I like the policy that protects us now, but really protects the taxpayers in the future. So, I mean, I get your point. That's somebody who's like, I earned that. I'm taking all that vacation that I never took with me, now that I'm 65. But I didn't, take it before at $10 an hour, $11 an hour. But I want paid out at $42 or $45 an hour. So I think it's just a protection for the township. And I did review some of this with Commissioner Steele, and I thought it was fair. So
I have some questions, Madam President. So are the employees that we currently have grandfathered in?
You mean as far as the time that they currently have?
Are they grandfathered in under the first policy?
So all the time that they have right now currently would have to be frozen as of this point, if we would agree to pass this, yes.
Okay.
So that's,
Yeah, they're not-
I don't use the word grandfather, but I knew exactly what you're saying. Yes. Their time would be frozen.
Okay, so my next question is, why did we not consider a cap on the amount of days they could accumulate at, and then that would be their payout at time of service?
There is a cap, 5 days.
No, I'm talking about like an accumulated cap. Like, for example, there are some organizations that say you can accumulate up to, 100 days of vacation or 50 days of vacation. Why did we choose to go with a percentage and not a cap?
We do have a cap, 5 days.
No, I'm not asking.
The percentage is based upon your years of service. The percentage of the payout is based upon your years of service. The cap is 5 days.
So, I think you're misunderstanding. I'm asking, so if you have 5 days, you carry it over. The next year, you carry over another 5 days.
No, 5 days.
So a person that has 20 years of service is going to get paid 5 days when they retire.
Correct.
Okay.
5 days plus that current.
Plus that current years.
allowed.
Right.
Okay. Okay, that's fine. And then my other thought, more of a comment. I understand the point about having to pay out a large amount, but we've had a reputation in this township for staff that have been here for a very long period of time because they enjoyed working for our organization, and had so many individuals not gotten terminated, we wouldn't have had such a large payout. But that's neither here nor there. But I do just want to express my concern that I don't want us to be in a position where we're not going to be able to recruit and retain talented individuals to work here in what should be a public sector job, because we're not being competitive with our neighboring municipalities. Thank you.
Understandable. Just so you know, the same vacation policy you just vote on for the superintendent's contract, just so you know. So he has the same contract. His vacation is the same. I'm not, I think he had a great solid contract, but the vacation was the same. Now we're going to come back and have the rest of our employees follow. You didn't have a problem with that, but now you have a problem with this. And I'll say this every single time. We work for the residents and the taxpayers of Swatara Township. If they're employees of the township and their residents, we work for them too. But at the end of the day, there's no way that an employee after 30 years should walk away from here with a $120,000 check because they decided to bank vacation. That is not wise stewards of our money. That is one of the main reasons why the general fund is deficient the way it is now. These are some of the issues, and we're addressing these issues, and I will stay rock solid on this because this benefits the residents of Swatara Township.
Can you clarify, does the new employee get 5 days or 10 days?
Just for you, ma'am, we generally don't answer questions from the public during the meeting because we're conducting the business, but I'll go ahead and.
So a new employee, and I'll read the policy. So a 0 to 5 year, everyone gets 10 personal days. So, from your hire date, 10 PTO days.
Again, it's not going to be a back and forth.
Right.
If he's going to answer your question, then we're going to keep going with the meeting.
So you get 10 PTO days from the hire date. Then a 0 to 5 year employee will get a 10 additional vacation days. 6 to 10, 15 days vacation. 11 to 15, 20 days vacation. 16 to 20 years, 25 days vacation. 21 to 30 years, 30 days vacation. So someone currently right now that has 11 to 15 years, they get 20 vacation days plus 10 PTO days. So we're essentially saying you have 30 days off throughout the whole year, but you're not going to build your vacation and stagger it over your career, where at the end of your career, we owe you $120,000, $90,000, $80,000 because you decided that Swatara Township residents were your piggy bank. Swatara Township is not your savings account.
So are we making changes to the sick leave policy, or is that remaining the same? This is
Well,
just
we have
vacation?
PTO, which they're allowed to use their PTO currently for sick leave, so they can use they can either use their PTO or their vacation days for their sick leave. And then on top of that, that was some of the discussion, but we already have, there's an extra layer of protection for if someone would get sick. We have short-term disability, which we offer to our employees, and then we also offer long-term disability to our employees.
As far as the sick though, the PTO, how many can they accumulate there?
You just accumulate 5 vacation days. That's it. That's it. You can carry over 5
I'm asking
vacation
about
days.
PTO.
You get 10 PTO days a year.
Okay. And is
Did
that
the sick end in
accrued over a period of
2013?
time, or is
The sick
it 10 days and that's
2013
it? You're done.
Your PTO, you get 10 PTO days a day to hire.
Can you
It
carry
says-
over your PTO is my question.
No, you cannot carry over your PTO.
Okay.
And regarding the sick thing,
I mean, I don't have a problem with the vacation, but I do think that it's not unheard of to have a municipal employee have something that they can bank. I agree that it shouldn't be like $120,000. I agree with that, but I think that's the way that municipalities have the ability to recruit talented individuals to work in their organizations, because let's be realistic, the pay is not supposed to be as lucrative as the benefits. A lot of people work for municipal government for the benefits mainly, not necessarily because they're going to come in making $120,000 or $130,000 a year. Thank you.
go ahead.
Just one more thing. I'm up here for the taxpayers, the residents, to save wherever we can. I have been doing my best being a board member on here, but I also am concerned about the employees that we have. So I just want to make that clear, because during the conversation, it may have sounded like I'm not that way, and that's definitely not the case. So, thank you.
And just for the public too, that this is in addition to the paid holidays that the township observes. So do we have any further discussion at this time?
Well,
All right.
I guess my last point of discussion is, as a member of the board with a policy, I understand that there's a personnel committee, but I do think that the board should have had an opportunity, all of the members on the board, to discuss this policy before coming here and deciding that, this is the way it's going to go, and not having any input at all. And, so I know that the vote tonight is whether I vote for it or not, the vote's going to happen anyway. But I think that in the future, it would be nice to have more collaboration between members of the board and more input between members of the board. If someone wants to put all their time and effort into writing a policy, that's fine, but why not send it to myself or Commissioner Tuckey or anybody else on the board for review, maybe a little bit of feedback? We really should be involved in the process because we are a board of 5. But just my 2 cents, and thank you, and appreciate the opportunity to comment.
Thank you. Do we have anything else? All right. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Yes, no.
One opposed. All right. So that is approved with 4 yes, 1 no. We'll go ahead and move on to item 12, approval to engage, letter to initiate our fiscal year 2024 audit with, I'm just going to say ZNA. I'm not going to attempt the name.
The same exact thing. Motion.
Second.
All right, and
This is just our annual standard engagement letter. Obviously, we're already under contract. What is it, 3-year contract?
Yeah.
I think it's a 3-year contract, but every year they have to, as a formality, send out an engagement letter engaging us again, basically saying they're ready to begin the audit.
To say they're starting it.
What'd you say?
Literally to say that they're starting it.
And also to say they're starting it. Thanks, Brittany.
Shouldn't that been done before they started actually auditing?
Not,
The process that used to happen before is the manager would just sign it, it would never come to the full board. And one of the questions I asked, because of some of the things that we're trying to change to make sure we do it right, I reached out to the solicitor, and it should always come before the board. But technically, no, because they are our auditors on file. If my understanding was, it's just strictly administrative, and Brittany, correct me if I'm wrong.
It is.
Because we're already under contract for them for the next 3 years, so they are our auditors. We're just fulfilling something that we never did the proper way before. If that makes sense.
it's to initiate, to be more specific in the packet, it's to initiate the start of the DCED filing, like a couple specific filings. They're already under contract to be our auditors, but these are to engage these specific filings.
I think we have reviewed engagement letters from them in the past. I do remember, and I've been on the board for 7 years, I do remember seeing engagement letters from them in the past out here as part of the board. So I respectfully disagree with it. We haven't done that before, but I think, of course, this is something that is necessary.
I just want to say, I think there's a difference between re-upping a 3-year contract and then signing the continuation year after year. So I'll agree with you on the part that we've
Yeah, it's
seen this
definitely been-
before from this company, but I don't know that we saw it every year in the, like, we would sign up for a 3-year contract, and then these documents would be signed
In between.
by the administrative staff. So it's just something extra coming before us. So I think there's, like, everybody's right.
Yeah, if I
on the part
confuse
they're
that,
talking
I
about,
I
and
apologize.
there's just a little.
That's okay. Thank you.
I just want to explain that, because
Yeah, it was-
I would agree with Commissioner Zubek that
yeah, we've definitely
Bless
seen
you.
something
has
from
come
them
up,
before.
and
Yeah.
we've renewed that. But if it was, just say it was a 3-year contract, the next time we would see it would be the 3 years, not each year. And both of us have been president of the board, and I know that's something that the manager would sign. I know it from, conversation, but I didn't know it was supposed to come out here.
I didn't either.
Yeah, so, I mean, this is kind of just doing more business in front of the public.
The only
Same
thing-
business.
Thanks, Steve.
The only thing I was going to say is that I would go back through and look, because like you said, I know we've seen documents from them before too, but just for clarity's sake, I'll do that to see if we've had these yearly ones or not. But yeah, either way, obviously it is a good thing for it to come to us for the, not necessarily extension, but continuation of the contract.
Certainly.
Do we have anything further with regard to this letter of engagement? All right, hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, we're up to item 13, appointments to boards and commissions. This is on our agenda every meeting. Not hearing any, we'll move to visitors' requests and comments again. So if anyone has any comments, you'll come forward, write your name and address as well as state it for the public, and then you may begin.
There's no pen, but Tom Garlic, 6050 Hogger Drive.
Everywhere but where we needed it.
Yep, sounds about right.
So I saw you guys are going to do targeted enforcement next month. The one area I would really like is Chambers Hill Elementary, because when they're letting out, it's a madhouse, or people, jumping lanes, and somebody's probably going to get hurt at some point. So that's my only comment.
Yes, thank you for that. And to you too, sir, just good to see you. Yeah. So we'll go ahead and move on. Do we have any other visitors' requests and comments?
My name is Charles Recipe, and I live at 631 South 61st Street. I just have a general concern about 2 or 3 disabled gentlemen who walk the neighborhood, and oftentimes they're walking in the evening with no reflective clothing on. And I know those of us who live in the Chambers Hill are very much aware of them, but I'm not so sure visitors are. And oftentimes they just come up in your view very quickly, walking on the berm of the road, and I'm worried that one of them is going to get run over or seriously injured one of these days. So I think that's something that should be looked at. I'm not sure where those gentlemen live. I think it's at the top of Chambers Hill Road at the intersection. So I think that's one concern I have. I've seen that multiple times. As a matter of fact, just recently, as last week, I came up around the medical center there at the top of Chambers Hill and went up around the curve, and there's one gentleman walking right on the road, and it's pitch black. So I must say, I didn't come close to hitting him, but just being aware of their presence in the neighborhood, I wanted to make sure that people are aware of that. Second of all, I know there's a stop sign at the top of that hill, but I've seen multiple times in my own travels up and down there where someone is going to get T-boned because visitors from out of town don't tend to stop at the stop sign, or if they do, they're stopping coming up the hill, and I'm just, hopefully there's no serious accident there, but I think that's a risky intersection. That's something that should be looked at. Please don't put a red light there. But even a blinking caution light or something, I think.
60th and Chambers?
Well, no, at the top of Chambers Hill Road, or at the UPMC medical office.
They're from the group home.
That's a tough intersection, and I've seen just a lot of close calls there, and a couple myself, where people just blow through that stop sign coming from, going west.
Yeah.
So I think that's something that should be looked at.
The one gentleman used to wear the vest. You're talking, I think that 2 of them are from the group home right there by the medical facility. I don't know who gave him a vest, but he used to wear one, and then he just decided to stop wearing it. I don't know why.
Anymore.
And then the other gentleman, you're right in what you're saying. He used to just stay around the group home, but now wandering farther down. I've seen him as far as 40 and 8 Club. So he's not from the group home there?
He works at the group home from Oberlin, back at Wilson's old house.
Oh, God.
So anyway, those are my 2 concerns.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Do we have any other visitors' requests and comments at this time? Yep.
My name is Nassim Tawadros. I'm living 6041 Hampton Don Circle, Harrisburg.
Just gonna load this.
I'm sorry, I'm too short.
I have that problem too.
But thanks, buddy. I appreciate that.
Yeah, very much so.
I know it's limit time, but if you don't mind, can I show you a picture?
Okay.
Can I come to you?
Yep.
I hope you still remember me.
Mm-hmm.
This is how it looked like before.
Okay. I'm gonna pass it.
This one, I would like him.
Okay.
And I leave this one copy for you.
Okay.
To see if it was you.
Okay. We appreciate that.
Remember to come back or something.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah,
Thank you.
we'll distribute.
Yeah. First of all, in December, we start from beginning. Did I did any crime to move my sunroom from this lock to other lock? Is any crime for that?
I'm gonna go with no.
Okay, thank you. If I have any issue or I want to fix any something or details for my permit, who can I call?
You would have to see our
You-
codes
you-
department.
Yeah, if you have questions about building code, zoning, permits,
Yes.
township's open, regular business hours. Mr. Zach Golden took the place of Robert Eline, so it would be his office or his staff.
Yeah.
Nothing's changed, put it that way. We have a new person in the position, but I mean, if you have those issues that pertain to township business, the township right behind the door that you came in to get here, and I think you're
No,
familiar.
if you wanna fix like major or you wanna change some details, what I believe you have to call or to contact the building approved code. He able to fix the stuff, right?
The process is here, and then approved codes works for us on certain things, if that was what your question was.
And December 24, I'm sorry, December 3rd, 2024, I called the approved code. And after December 3rd, I called between 1 p.m. Nobody answered, and after 2 o'clock, the lady, she dispatched, answered me. She called me back. And I accepted to her my name, my address, what I need, and I spoke to her. I need to please make a schedule with Mr. Neil for 5 minutes, any day, any time, he available. She said, he know you? I said, yeah, he know me. And she said, what can I do? I deliver the message to him. From December until now, like almost 4 months, I don't get call, I don't get any appointment, I get nothing. And I don't know how I say, but I was scared to go there. I'm scared to go there. Miss Christian, somebody, I'm not perfect with electronic stuff. Someone, he gave me the video when Mr. Neil, who was over here. Whatever he said, I respect. But just one question, he make me attention. When you ask him, Mr. Neil, did you leave him outside or not? He doesn't answer.
I'm gonna interject here because it seems like you have an issue with a vendor that is with the township.
Again.
So the process would be to speak with Zach, and then we can go from there to address your personal issue with what's going on with the codes inspection, things like that.
That's right. Thank you so much, man.
Yep.
And just one more thing, ma'am. For Chambers Hill Road, when you get out to cross the highway,
Mm-hmm.
especially in the night time, when you try to cross the highway to get like Chambers Road to go Walmart or Giant or stuff like this, I saw a lot of people, and one truck driver, he smashed the rear right. Because when you go through from uphill, you can see the lane between both sides.
Okay.
I see a lot of people, especially with old people, he cross in a positive line, go through, and he pass the concrete and he get back again. I see couple line, yellow line in front of Speedway, the gas station in the middle. If you can, please just extend this concrete up when you come from the highway. If you want to make a left turn, or you want to like come from Chambers Hill, you go direct down, you will see the road, because I'm not able to see the road.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
he's like us to look at doing the lines, the lines need to be redone.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
Just
that's fine.
extend, because especially nighttime,
Yeah.
nobody can catch it.
Gotcha.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
we'll take that into consideration as well. So thank you very
Thank
much
you.
for that. Yep. All right. Do we have anyone else?
Gavin Ford, 3731 Rutherford Street. I have three things. First thing, light bulbs for the meeting room. Second thing, it would be nice if we had a chief of staff that would work on some of these policies and present them in these meetings that represents the personnel that work for the township. Third thing, does the township keep track of fire hydrants that are being maintained in the township?
I don't have an answer to that at this time.
It's a water company.
Okay, but does the township oversee that?
No.
We wouldn't
Why
have-
not?
We don't own them.
Yeah, we wouldn't have, it's a utility.
Right, but you would keep up with how often they're servicing the fire hydrants the township's paying money for?
You've seen how things work with PennDOT, you see how things work with PPL, like,
Yeah,
we're not the priority to get that information, unfortunately.
Right, but I'm sure it's being done because of that fire that got out of hand in Enhant and they had a crappy hydrant that didn't have any water pressure.
So, I mean, we can reach out and attempt to coordinate, but
Someone should have already done that. I hope that was done. I heard there may or may not have been some things with that, but maybe we need to look at hydrants across the township to ensure that's being done.
just again,
If it's there, it means it's probably other places. And that fire got way out of hand, and to have that issue and not have, competent answers to our fire hydrants being serviced for what we're paying for.
we're not the utility.
I get that.
Right, we're not the utility.
But if you,
Well, the president's very competent. I think that's just
Yeah.
in general.
no, I
We're
don't
not
think
the
you have a
utility.
competent answer in
I
the
think
fire
that's- I
hydrants
think that's
being
just
serviced in the
disingenuous
township.
For you to talk to her like that.
No, I
No,
respect
it's-
Miss
it's
Ellis.
fine. Yeah, it's fine. But
So-
we're not the utility that would be the one doing the servicing or own the hydrant.
I understand that, but the township pays for it.
And I think after you brought it up tonight, obviously, we'll check into it and see what the answer is.
But again, just because we check into it doesn't mean that there will be coordination. We've attempted this with lots of state entities, utilities and things like that. It doesn't mean that it's going to work out the way that you want.
Sure, but the township can ask, how often are you guys doing these things? Not just, oh, we're gonna hand you a check each year and not see what you're doing,
Does the
you know?
town- Okay, go ahead. Yep.
Madam President, I'd like to say something. Look, I understand from that fire, was there an issue with the hydrant? The first hydrant it was hooked up to, is that correct?
So no, actually, that was mutual aid fire department that didn't follow proper policy. The water pressure on that side of the township has typically been lower, especially that time of day, because everybody is getting ready in the morning and using the water. That's why our policy and county policy requires us to do things a certain way. So,
Was there a closer hydrant to that fire that wasn't used?
no, we use 2 hydrants, as we always do.
So
Yeah,
the closest hydrant to that particular fire that was used automatically, the first one?
The first 2 hydrants were used on that fire, yes.
Okay.
Do we have any other water sources?
The Oberlin and Halt
Chief,
Bressler
Person.
area. The Oberlin and Halt Bressler, and you know this, there are certain areas that have bad water pressure at certain times of the day. The old 3 box, which is out towards the golf course, it affects it, and then water usage affects it as well. I mean, my neighborhood complains about all the time, come 7 o'clock in the morning, guess what? There's no water pressure. That's because everybody's using the same system. And we can't mandate to Viola to put another pumping station in or to put another tower in to fix the pressure. That's privately held.
Right, but if that's gonna be the kind of pressure that's coming out of that hydrant needs to be painted a different color. I mean, these are the things that should be getting done
I do
when,
wanna-
when they're being serviced. But I'm wrong, but maybe we'd have excellent fire hydrants here in the township because everyone said the fire hydrant was bad.
I
But
have one
we wanna
more
say
question.
something else, we can do that.
Chief Emerson, as far as the hydrants are concerned, aside from the hydrants, did we have any other water sources there? Was there a tanker or was there anything else?
No, there was no need.
Okay. And then just a point, I mean, we've all been there at some point, ran fire. It would give me peace of mind as a resident, as well as, somebody who served in emergency services to at least ensure that our hydrants are working. I mean, if that means, reaching out to Veolia saying we need to know that they're all in good working order because we had an issue and hot, I think that's what, Gavin's trying to get at, is maybe we should get on top of that because no firefighter wants to pull up, grab a hydrant and find out there's no water.
Yeah.
That'd be the worst
Right.
nightmare.
Why are we saying that's what happened? That's not what happened.
No, I'm not saying that's what happened.
To your point, that's what, like, we can do that
Yeah.
and reach out, but again, that doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to get the response and the coordination.
I'm not saying that's what happened, just to clarify.
Yeah,
I'm
yep.
saying just being proactive is
Yeah.
not a bad thing.
Right. I agree.
Mr. Steele,
can I just-
you said that there's been changes in the flow of water for those hydrants historically?
There's always going to be, Gavin, as you go community to community, and like one of the projects that the township does is we partner with Veolia for our paving. Now, as they go through neighborhoods and do their infrastructure upgrades, it will get better. But as far as us telling them, hey, you got to do better now, we just pay a fee to them. It's essentially leased to us, right? But we have no control over it. It's like the street light. You brought up street light. We pay for the street lights out here. Hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. They belong to PP&L. I would love to see them all LEDs with, guess what? Probably solar power. So the price will go down. That's up to PP&L. And I get your point, but when you first addressed it, it was like you were saying something tactically went wrong. Which,
Well, that's what it sounded like.
but that's where you got to, I think, engage the fire chief to say, hey, what tactically went wrong? I wasn't able to make the call, obviously, because I was dealing with my family. But I could tell just by listening to the call, it was a tactical error on a mutual aid fire department. Our guys are trained that, yes, when we lay out from the closest hydrant, then the second in engine picks up your hydrant and pumps to you in case of those issues.
Right.
Because it could happen anywhere.
It could.
Right. You could have the best system in the world and it could still happen. That's why we have these policies in place.
Right.
But when someone else fails at that, I mean, and we're not going to call them out here in public, but when someone else fails at that, Gavin, we're not going to get up here, us and Chief Iverson, and say, hey, company such and such, you did wrong. That's an internal thing that we're going to deal with.
Sure, but you admitted that there is an issue with the fire hydrant pressure. They should be painted a different color. So when you have a mutual aid department that comes into Swatara Township, almost for every fire call, that whatever the case may be, they know, oh, this isn't a normal hydrant that you're going to get 1,500 to 2,000 gallons a minute of water out of, if that's the case. But thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any other visitors' requests and comments at this time? All right. We're going to go ahead and move on to item 15, possible stormwater violations for investigation. No one ever reports any of these, so give it another second. All right. Commissioners' requests and comments, additional business and correspondence. Commissioner Tuckey?
Yes. First off, Chambersville Fire Company has their fish fry coming up this Friday evening from memories 4:30 to 7. It's all you can eat, $15 for adults and $7 for children, 7 and younger. I was at the Planning Commission meeting last night. It was great to see all the citizens that came out and spoke up. A lot of them had really good comments that they put out there about concerns that they have for their neighborhood and surrounding area. And it was just good to see people get involved and active in their community. As I've stated before in the past, and I think I've shown it over the past few years, we definitely have been trying to save the taxpayers wherever we can, with not wasting taxpayers' dollars on different things that have been purchased through the township and different ways of going about things in our township to try to save wherever we were able to. But I also believe in the employees need to be treated as good as we possibly can treat them. And that's why I voted the way I did tonight with that policy. I just didn't feel that was 100% proper, the way that was laid out for the percentages of actually time that I believe they've earned for vacation. I understand if you put a limit on it, but I don't see where the percentage is. I just didn't agree with that part, being 20%. And every year after, it was like basically another 20%, 20 to up until 5 years. I just didn't feel that was right for the employees. I appreciate everyone that's come out tonight. Thank you. And I hope everyone has a good evening.
Thank you. Commissioner Zubek?
Yes, I echo Commissioner Tucky's comments on, the importance of how we treat our employees. And, I just want to say, irrespective of how the vote went this evening, I will be watching to see that this isn't going to have a negative impact on our ability to bring talented, bright, intelligent staff here to work that are going to stick around. Because I think that's the important part. It's not them coming here. Anybody can come here, entry-level position. It's our benefits and our quality of service to the residents. That's important. But also, does staff feel comfortable enough to stick around? We had people at the beginning of last year that had served here for 38, 40 years. We were obviously, in my opinion, doing something right. And I'm concerned that we're making changes that are going to be a negative reflection to the community, and people are going to think, well, that's no longer a great place to work. And I don't want it to be that way. I want to make sure that we're the best place to work. And I've always been really proud of our township. I mean, I've heard stories of people leaving the Turnpike Commission to come here to work, leaving other municipalities to come here to work. I just want to make sure we continue going in that direction. My other point is I do want to extend my thanks to Kevin Trafka for working with me on, it's not done yet, but I've had some concerns about the potholes on Dairy Street, especially at the 5,000 block of Dairy Street. I think there was one, I thought I was going to drive my car into it, and I've heard from other residents that also reached out. So I did ask Kevin to provide me the contact information for our regional office at PennDOT. We were able to get in touch with them, and they said that they are working on it, and we'll be following up in the next 2 weeks, but hopefully something can get done there. And thank you everyone for coming out this evening, and have a wonderful evening.
Thank you. Commissioner Connolly?
Yeah, I just want to start with an explanation to the public. We all have committees, and tonight was basically an easy night for me. I have codes and public safety, and a lot of these meetings, those are more of the hot topic things. But we talked about some administrative things, some personnel things, some decisions. The way the committees go, Commissioner Steele is the chair of personnel. We co-chair finance, so some things we do cross over on. But I want to be clear, we hear it like meeting after meeting that we should all know and we should all know, but the law basically states that a lot of business is done out here in public. And if we have 3 commissioners talking about something, any 3, and then making decisions that aren't in public, it's actually a violation of what we're supposed to do. So even though I asked questions about it, the information that was provided tonight on personnel changes with PTO, I got it at the same time as everybody else. Commissioner Steele might have worked on it significantly longer than us, but just so you know, when we make the vote, it's a public vote. But I did through the contract process. We talk about this. Our employees are assets to us, and they're assets to you. We want them to be happy, paid well, healthy, have good benefits. We added some holiday time. Many of the people that we're talking about, with the exception of the police, are off every weekend. And I'm sure if a cross-section of the audience, that hasn't always happened in your life. You probably always didn't have a job that you got 12 paid holidays and that you started with 20 days off. So I think we do treat our employees, and I'm not saying that the comments said that we weren't. I think I'm in agreement that we want to continue to do that, but I think we do very well by our employees. And I'm going to tell you this, the employees do very well by the township at every level. They do a great job. And in response to Mr. Gavin Ford, I saw on Facebook that there was an issue with the fire hydrant on Facebook from a person that has been unreliable most times. But when I saw that, I called Chief Iverson and said, did we have a problem with a fire hydrant? He said no. I said, do we have a problem with pressure? He said no. And then I got to see pictures and video of brave firefighters fighting that fire in not the best outdoor weather conditions. They did an incredible job, an absolute incredible job. And I want to thank them, all the mutual aid that came. You know, in the winter, you tend to see fires related to heating and different things like that. We've got guys that have been running nonstop, and we appreciate the mutual aid coming in to help. We provide it to other people when we can. But I think we have absolutely great firefighters. And I'm amazed that we don't have people, you know, they'll reach out to us on the scene. But I mean, we should probably have a steady stream of people coming to that microphone saying how great a job our fire department does, our police department, our guys plow snow. We don't get that. We end up, most meetings, you know, we get issues to deal with, and that's our job. We want to deal with them. But when I'm out in the public and I'm at events and I'm doing things, a lot of people come up and really compliment what we're doing here. And I'm saying, you know, the board is the head of that. I'm not saying that any one of us did anything special, but I think we do a really good job. And township newsletters out. You'll notice the banner headline on the front. If you're interested in good news, you'll notice it. But it says that the stormwater fee was not increased here in Swatara Township. It's been the same since 2018. You see, we all live in the same world. We see prices going up. We see our utility bills going up. We saw our taxes go up by 22%. 22%. So, you know, I was criticized a few years ago when I had a goal to lower taxes, and we only were able to lower them by a small amount. But from 2013 to today, you're paying less taxes. It actually was decreased here in Swatara Township. The school district has steadily raised them, but in defense of the school district, they're the lowest school taxes in Dauphin County. Our overall millage is for $100,000 assessed home, we pay $2,900 in taxes, and that hurts. $2,900. If you own your home like I do, that's a bill. You pay that. If it's in escrow, you might not see it as much when I was younger and I was paying the mortgage. But we do everything we can to keep the taxes low here. And at the same time, over that same period where we didn't raise them, the county only raised it once, but 22% hits pretty hard. So if you have a $200,000 house, they hit you with a $300 bill that they sent out January that was due right March 31st is your discount period. Tough to come up with $300. We talk about the price of eggs. You know, you cannot get the eggs, or it can go up $5 and, you know, you can ration them. But I think we do a great job, the entire board, our staff, our employees, and to not increase taxes in you know, that many years, actually have it decrease, not increase stormwater fee, and I'm with everybody here. I'd rather not have a stormwater fee. It's mandated by higher powers. You know, we have to report to state and federal government on things like that. But we have one of the lowest stormwater fees. So I feel like, you know, when I come here, there's a lot of issues, concerns. They're very valid. But at the same time, I think it's overlooked. You could cross a border out of Swatara Township basically in any direction except for Lower Paxton, has a slightly lower municipal tax than us, and pay a lot more money. And in some places, our $2,900 could be as high as $5,800. So that's thousands of dollars to be in a different community, and that's county, school district. But you know, we're all in this together. You know, trying to do the best thing for everybody. And I just want to throw some of those positives out. And before I wrap up, I want to thank. We had talked about it before and I was going to put it out, and we thought about maybe doing a press release with the chief. We saw crime in neighboring communities, and it seemed like, unfortunately, there was a spike. We had no murder in, crime overall, calls for service, Pakistan and Swatara was coming down. We have community policing. We feel like the community is reporting things. No murder, the most serious, homicide in all of last year. Chief Stauffer and I talked about putting a statement out just to update the community that the crime is down, the calls for service are down, no major crime like that. And we talked about it just a few weeks back for 24. And don't you know, through that next night, we had a murder, the one murder, behind a business on Paxton Street, and then the body was disposed of in Pakistan. We police both municipalities. As bad as that seems, and we're obviously upset about it, incredible police work resulted in the arrest of the murderer. And that doesn't always happen. If you watch the news, sometimes people get murdered and there's no justice. So again, I want to thank the police, and we'll follow that through the justice process. And I want to address one other thing, which is litter. All over the place. Blowing out of dumpsters, recycle bins. We had incredible wind. We just had a small cleanup last weekend with a group that actually was delayed with their cleanup, Martin Luther King cleanup, because of 9 inches of snow. Commissioner Tuckey, I know he had reached out to Mr. Trafka, and I've been working with Mr. Trafka. We're going to try to resolve the litter problems in a lot of different ways. Citing the people that the litter's coming off their property, or if they're, basically, we shouldn't have to pick it up. But we're going to start with volunteer cleanups, and we're engaging with a group that provides manpower. We actually have a meeting Friday to see if we can get some use out of that. We do 4 township cleanups a year. This is the 12th anniversary of those cleanups. We've had over 1,000 people show up. And when I say 1,000 people, it's how many are at each cleanup. But somebody could have been at every cleanup. But we keep track of it. We're in the process of purchasing the orange bags. We have grabbers, we have tools. If anybody is interested in doing a cleanup, you can reach out here to the township. And it doesn't have to be one of the organized dates. It could be your neighborhood, it could be things like that. But believe me, it bothers me. The township's 12th anniversary Earth Day and all those other cleanups were things that I started before I was a commissioner. And we've had, tremendous buy-in here. So hopefully we'll see a huge improvement between now, April 19th, Earth Day, but we can't wait till April 19th to get on top of it. So just want to let you know that that's a problem that we recognize, and we're going to start working to tackle it. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Vice President Steele?
Yes. Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result is insanity. And I don't know why we come up here month after month and act as if some employees were fired that you didn't know. In 22, you posted over $1 million deficit, this government. In 2023, you posted over a $2.7 million deficit. In 23, you spent over 18 million, but your revenue was 14 million. You're lopsided by 4 million. I was elected in the end of 24 and was seated, the end of 23 and was seated in 24. Been here 15 months. 15 months. And seated in January, $18 million budget, previous year, $14 million. Where do you cut? Your taxes haven't been raised. We literally reconstructed the government in 15 months. And we continue to do that to make it efficient for the residents so your taxes don't go up. Stormwater, when I came in 2024, was bankrupt. It had no money in the account. Stormwater right now currently has over $1.6 million in the account so we can do projects. Your tax dollars being used properly, but it was bankrupt in 22 and 23. When you look at the amount of payouts, and we just talked about these payouts, these are part of that reconstruction. There was a township manager, there was a manager for stormwater, there was a manager for highway, there was a manager for the sewer authority. Those have been combined now, consolidated, under a single management umbrella. Why? To save you tax dollars. Why we have 3 managers when we can have 1? And 1 operations person? Why we pay 3 benefits package when we can end up paying 1? Why we pay 3 retirements when we can pay 1? These are private sector principles that work for government. But if we're going to continue down the same course, you think the 21%, 22% from the county was something, Swatara Township, you would have seen a 25, probably 30% tax increase. You got to fill a $4 million gap. And real estate tax doesn't fill our gaps. You're lucky if you get $3 million a year off of real estate tax. You know, we're still paying for things right now that came in under 23. We got a vac truck. We got to pay for a street sweeper. This is all nonsense. It's not about governance. It's not about cutting costs, because you didn't cut no costs. No costs were cut in 22 and 23. It's all smoke and mirrors. And now that we actually want to do something and work diligently for the taxpayers, we want to throw darts as if we're not doing the right thing. Well, the staff here, whether it be the personnel committee, the chief of staff, the directors of utilities, the codes, the treasurer, they get together and make things work, and they make it happen, and they're doing an outstanding job. There's no way we could have spent $16 million last year and we had $18 million the previous year. That was staff that helped us do that. That's not just one person that's going to take credit for that. That's collectively. But we continue month after month after month, hear this grandstanding nonsense about the problems that we have. You have all the problems, but you have offered no solutions. And what I'm telling you is go look at the videos from 24 and now. We come up here, and some of them have all the problems in the world, but what solution have they offered? Publicly, what was the solution? I missed the meeting because I was in the hospital with my son, but I heard certain things about the budget. They don't like things about the budget. If you go back and watch, I think we had a series of 6 budget meetings. You won't hear certain individuals up here say one thing they want changed in the budget. But then the budget passes and then they have a problem with the budget. What was your solution? They had none. Now that you have good governance, now we have a problem because we have the solutions to the problems. And we're going to continue to fix these problems. This isn't, let's be clear, this isn't about Democrat and Republican. This is about people that can govern versus people that should not be governing. Because there's a record there. When you look at 22 and 23, you will see that record. You will see that governing record. Men and women will lie all day long, but the numbers will not. The professionals came here in 2024 and told you what happened in 22 and 23. And now we're trying to fix that. Government is not like your house where you can fix it immediately. This is going to take years to fix. And we're trying, and our staff is trying, and we get good talent. Austin Calman's an example of that. Zach's an example of that. 2 of our newest employees, good talent. The talent that we have here now. We got a finance director back here. We got Kevin, he was promoted. We got Chief Stauffer that was promoted to superintendent. These are talented individuals. Under this administration, there are more female department heads than there's ever been and brought up to an equal pay wage just like a man. So we're getting things done. Don't listen to the nonsense. Look at the record. Look at the minutes. Come in here and get the facts, and then you will see it. I understand there's an election at hand right now, and we want to spew whatever we want. Take that nonsense somewhere else. And I want one more thing to be clear. In 22 and 23, you will not find in the minutes where things that were purchased were brought before this board. There is something called GAAP, Generally Accepted Accounting Principles. Okay, and that's the standard that we have to go by. And when you make a budget and you have an expense, there's a PO process. And during that PO process, something is purchased. And that's the way the government works. So what you heard about all these purchases that aren't coming before the board and they don't know, everyone has access. All 5 of us up here have access to that treasurer. And if we really want to get the information, we'll get it. You hear time and time, we say, I want to ask for this document. I'm asking for this document. You never hear them come back and say they didn't get the document. So once you got the document, what was your solution? They had none. It's a grandstand. And I'm asking you, pull the veil from over your eyes and see it for what it is.
Come in here and get the information. See it for what it is. Because Swatara Township, the general fund, 22 and 23 was deficient, and it was ran in the ground by the leaders in 22 and 23. And that's a fact, and there's no way around that. In 24, 25, we still have to right this ship. I appreciate you for coming out. I appreciate you for logging online. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. I don't have a lot to say tonight. I just want to say thank you to the Central Dauphin superintendent and school board members that presented to our board at the information session that we had on February 19th. Our board looks forward to continuing to coordinate like that and try to do things that are mutually beneficial, to make sure that information that's here that benefits the school district to know is being shared and vice versa. And on like a personal note, I'm just gonna say on Saturday, it would be my brother Jordan's 30th birthday. So I wanna wish him a happy heavenly birthday. And I just wanna remind everyone that everyone that you come in contact with is going through something that you may not see. So I just want to ask everyone to implore some grace when dealing with people and just choose kindness. So that's all I have for this evening. I'll go ahead and entertain a motion for adjournment.
Motion.
Yep. All right, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Meeting is adjourned at 8:20.
What were we supposed to do with this street?
Excuse me, but